everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Mindset Conversations. I'm Rob Fields with Higher Up, and sitting next to me is Kostka Parlade, one of our partners with Higher Up.
Hey Rob, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So today we brought Kostka here to talk a little bit about mindset, culture, and why it's important in our lives and in sports. We're also here to talk to Kostka a little bit about one of his passions, which is coaching. Kostka has a lot of national team experience coaching players from all over, including his home country of Spain. And we're excited to have him on the couch today to chat about mindset. We're also excited to have you here, and there's no time better than the present. We're going to get started. So Kostka, you guys just got back from the Nordic Championships. Talk to us a little bit about you guys' experience.
It was a very nice experience, and it was very important for this group because they didn't have any international experience before due to COVID. Everything was canceled, so for them it was very important to go through this.
Yeah, so from my understanding, you guys start with 50 players, you cut it down to 12 players. Talk to me a little bit about the selection process and what you guys were looking for.
Yeah, so the federation has a very clear approach to this, and is to try to focus on the players who have potential to become senior national team players. It doesn't have to be necessarily the best players at the moment. Okay. So we need players with physical potential, technical potential, tactical potential, and very important, mental or mindset potential and professionalism. In that sense, we need players who have the mindset to reach the highest. And then if they have potential to be national team players, they will reach it because their mindset is the right one. We find a lot of players who are always giving excuses when they make mistakes or when you give them a correction, and that's not helping them to learn. They try to excuse why things are not going their way. And also players who try to avoid making any mistakes by not trying difficult things. They also don't develop a lot. So you need players who are open to try new things, who welcome the feedback, who can communicate well, and of course who work very hard. Sometimes this mindset approach is not present, so we try to train it, and we tell the players about, for example, not giving excuses or pushing themselves, and we find a change. So we keep working with them, and sometimes we find a lot of resistance, and then we basically put them on hold for the next selection process, which, by the way, happens a lot because many players that are cut 1 year, they make it to the national team the year after, and that's very linked to changing their mindset in the sports.
So I really like the federation's approach to the national team selection. I feel like being on the national team is not a privilege, it's a responsibility, not only to yourself, but to your entire country. In order to live up to that responsibility, you need a strong culture or a good culture. Yeah. How would you define culture, and why is it important?
Yeah. So for me, culture is a set of beliefs or behaviors that guide the way you approach life. So basically it kind of defines how you are going to face challenges. That's something that you can create naturally by how you develop, or that you can design for you. So you can decide what your culture is going to be and force it on you. So I think in life it's very important, especially in sports, to have a strong culture. In basketball, of course, the club needs to have a very clear culture, but even the team, I always tell coaches they should have a strong team culture to make sure they reach the highest sense of belonging for the players and the strongest commitment. So you need to have some principles of work, you need to have some routines and things that you follow, and then the players really feel part of a group. I think a coach has to be the role model in this kind of culture, but also players need to be strong. And then I think players need to build their own culture, their personal culture on development or whatever they want. And that's going to help them also to have a clear path in life.
So this is the big question. How is culture and mindset related in your opinion?
Yeah, well, mindset and specifically growth mindset, which is what we try to push, is a set of behavior, set of beliefs. So per se, it could be is some kind of culture. So basically, it would mean that you add to your culture the idea of stepping out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself, being open to feedback and being open to provide feedback, understanding your emotions and being able to manage emotions and get the best from them and all of that.
Yes.
So it's basically a specific culture.
So Kostka, you have a lot of international experience coaching in other countries. What are some mindset differences that you've experienced over your time in these different countries?
Yeah. So first of all, the mindset challenges that we face now with youngsters, that's quite general in all the first world. So there may be lack of motivation, not wanting to step out of the comfort zone, finding excuses, etc. That's very general. The main difference that I see is that in other countries, sports becomes the perfect tool to overcome that. And sometimes in Denmark, we try to use it as an extra protection area for the youngsters. So you don't see in other countries players giving excuses or staying in the comfort zone or being overprotected by the players, by the parents. The good thing is that that's changing also in Denmark, and you can see where we work either as higher up or as coaches, and you have faced it yourself. Yeah. When you try to push the mindset of the kids, they immediately see the benefit, not only on the sports but also on life, and the parents also see that benefit. So that shows that there is a strong way to change, and that the sports is the perfect environment to change it.
Absolutely. So Kostka, I have one last question for you. What would be some advice, or how would you help players and coaches that want to improve their mindset?
Yeah, for mindset there are many trainings and courses, but there are a lot of things that you can do already immediately, and it's very similar for players and for coaches. So a coach should always have a very high demand for their players, try to push them out of the comfort zone, try to challenge them and give them a lot of feedback, make sure they correct every detail that is wrong, and basically help them understand and manage their emotions. And for the player, is basically do the same by yourself. Of course, it requires a lot of motivation, but if you get it, it's much more powerful. And then, like we were saying before, for a player, it's very important to build your own culture, your own development culture.
Okay, so I think that's a very effective and efficient approach. What would be some advice you could lend to club leadership? Here in Europe, we have a club system. What would be some advice you could lead to leadership and parents?
Yeah. For the club leaders is very, very clear. They need to build the right culture and deploy the right culture in the club. Very focused on mindset, and then give the coaches the right tools so they can basically do their work and deploy the mindset part of the work. For that, they need to understand the challenges they are facing, and then know what is the mindset challenges they have in the club and in general in the society. And for parents, I see two parts. First, they need to be an extra tool for the mindset coaching. So at home, they need to support this process. They shouldn't create a safe place for the kids when they go home and accept excuses and even give them excuses why things didn't go well in the game. And also they should be part of the club. So they should become as volunteers and help create the right environment for the kids to develop in mindset.
So everyone, that's the end of Mindset Conversations. Today we learned that a strong mindset is not only useful in sports, it's also useful in all of our lives. And also we learned that culture is important because we need to have a strong culture that supports mindset growth. I want to thank Kostka.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
For sitting and talking with us. We stepped out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
We got it done. And we also want to thank you all for spending some time with us here at Higher Up. We think that feedback is very important. It's a part of the process. So for you all, if you could, give us some comments, give us likes if you love it. And also if you have any criticisms, we'll take those as well. We want to make sure that this is good not only for this time, but for our next episode as well. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.